Why is Dorian still healthy after the huge amount of steroids he allegedly took? Well, first of all, it was a very abrupt end to the career. Average workout was 45 minutes, yeah. If you're really giving 100%, then 45 minutes to an hour really is really the maximum that you can train like that. You know, your intensity level starts going down inevitably. Yeah, and if I was feeling tired, I would write that down, or, you know, any little notes and things that I thought was important to note, I would write it down and I could look back. And if I was consistently feeling tired, then I have to make some adjustments, train less or take some days off or something. And if I was not making progress for a period of time, then also I need to take a look and see what's going on. I see so many people going to the gym with no real plan, no real goal, and they're not getting anywhere, but they keep doing the same thing. So if you're doing something for 1 or 2 months and there's zero progress, what's going to happen the next 1 or 2 months? Exactly the same. You keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results. So if you're not getting anything from your training, then something needs to change, and you need to not waste a lot of time making that decision. And with this information, you can see what's going on. Right now, I'm not doing really any heavy weight training, not because I don't like to train with weights. I would still love it, but I'm not able to train the way I would like to. I'm not able to push because I have a torn supraspinatus on the shoulder, which really interferes with the upper body. Of course, I still have, you know, I tore my bicep and my tricep during my career. So this side is weak, and it's even atrophied. It's weaker than the other side. And if I try to do heavy weight training, it's just bringing more damage to the area. So I have to listen to the body. So the weights that I do now is really like core stuff, integration. As bodybuilders, we train in isolation. We do everything in isolation. But real world functional movements, the body doesn't work like this. It works as a unit. I'm doing specific training for this, movement training, to get the body functioning as a unit. So I do this probably once a week with a private trainer. I do yoga twice a week, which I really enjoy for flexibility and balance and all these things that I never worked on before. So it's a challenge, but a different challenge. And a couple of times a week I do cycling. I really like cycling in the mountains in Spain. So my training gear now is geared now to cardiovascular fitness, mobility, flexibility, and making sure that the little injuries that I have from my career are not now being irritated and getting worse. And of course my diet is very different. Quite low in protein now. I still use a protein supplement, but I don't like to say I'm vegan, but I follow a plant-based diet. So sometimes I have some eggs, sometimes I have fish or chicken, but it's not very often. Most of the time it is kind of like a vegetarian or vegan diet. I think as you get older, large amounts of protein are not necessary, so it's lower in protein. So it's a big change from what I was doing before, but it's specific for my goals that I need now at my age and with the injuries that I have from the previous career. My goal now is to be healthy and functional and be able to climb up a mountain or ride a bike or swim in the ocean. You know, my lifestyle is a lot more relaxed. Before it was very regimented, and so now it's a little bit more relaxed. I probably eat I have in the morning a big smoothie, which is put a lot of stuff in there. So some protein, some coconut milk, avocado, berries, superfood green powders, like a big superfood shake in the morning. I have that. Lunch is usually salad, sweet potato, maybe rice, something like that. And in the evening, Gal usually cooks Brazilian food with rice and beans or lentils with vegetables. And yeah, so it's very different, much less protein, especially animal protein. Well, once a week I do a private lesson with a yoga teacher. Once a week I do a private with a functional trainer. And then I usually drop into a yoga class once a week, which is usually me and about 25 women. So that's good for me. I like that. And a couple of times cardio, but usually I'm just biking outside because I'm in Spain now. It's such beautiful countryside and weather and so on. So usually I'm outside rather than going in the gym and doing it like in England. You don't have a choice half the time because of the weather. So I enjoy being outside. I like to learn. I'm always open to learning, and I think I'm always learning something every day. But specifically what could help me in bodybuilding is now there's a lot more knowledge and information about body function, and what causes injuries and how to avoid injuries, and if you have an injury, how to more quickly recover from the injury. All this information now is much more available. In the 1980s, the first injury I had was I had a muscle tear on my hip from squatting, and I had no idea what to do, and I had nobody to tell me what to do. And if I went to the doctor, he'd just say, yeah, stop lifting weights. No, that was the kind of advice you got. Take a painkiller, take an aspirin, rest, and that's it. And now I know much more. So I think with the knowledge I have now, I could have avoided some of the injuries, and I could have, the little ones that I had, I could have taken care of them better. So it was partly the lack of information and knowledge and people to help you with this and treatment and so on. Now you can get so much. And partly my personality, my approach, which was just doing 100% all the time and sometimes overruling my body. Maybe my body was giving me signals which I didn't want to listen to. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned. And I'm still learning about body function and so on all the time. So I enjoy learning. I read a lot about nutrition, about anatomy and body function and so on. So I'm still learning. I think you can keep learning all your life. How many Olympias would I won without the injuries? Well, it's hard to say, but I can tell you that when I was preparing for the Mr. Olympia in '97, before I had the tricep injury, I had the bicep injury in '94, and I managed to overcome this and didn't really affect my training too much. But I remember during '97 getting ready for the Mr. Olympia, it's the first time I thought to myself, this is starting to be not fun anymore. This is starting to feel like Groundhog Day, like I'm doing the same thing again and again, and how much longer do I want to do this? Do I want to do this again after this year? Or do I want to do something else in life and find out, you know, I'd been living in this bubble for 10 or 12 years of just bodybuilding, just training, and so on and so on. So what else do I want to do in life? I started feeling the yearning, the feeling that I want to do something else. So even without the injury in '97, I'm not sure how many more I would have done. Maybe I would have done one more. But so in '97, I would start to lose my enthusiasm, to be honest. I was still doing it, 100%. What thought was there? How long do I want to do this for? Do I want to do it again? But when I retired in '98, I didn't do any of that. I didn't do any more guest posing and so on, because somehow I felt with the injuries, I wasn't able to train properly. I didn't feel good to go on stage and pose and so on. So it was a very abrupt end to the career. Who was the greatest competitor? Well, I don't know, competitor. I think the greatest potential was Flex Wheeler, because he looked great, and I know he wasn't given 100% to his training or his diet. So I always thought, wow, if this guy was as dedicated as me and he gave as much as me, then I would probably be in trouble. So Flex Wheeler deserves the first mention for that. And of course, Kevin LeBron was great as well, but Kevin, during the latter years, wasn't training all year round. So again, I would have to say Kevin wasn't giving 100% all the time. And then you have Sean, who was, he's a competitor, he wanted to win. But I didn't feel there was any danger that he could beat me because I was so much bigger. Towards the end of the career, then NASA was looking very good, 96 and 97. And as far as the closest win that I had, that's definitely 1997 with NASA, because NASA was in his best shape, he looked great, and I was not in my best shape because I had the injury. I still feel I deserved the win. It's a matter of opinion, but I still feel I deserved the win. So that was the closest. So there was not really one person there were several people there that if I slipped, I could be beaten. So there's Flex, Kevin LeBron, and NASA. Probably those three guys had a better chance of beating me if I was off. 94, 97, I would say, was not my best years. Sean came second in 94, and NASA came second in 97. So, and Kevin was second 95, and Flex was second in 93. So there was never one person there were several people there that were really good, and if it was not on my game, they could have a chance. You know what I'm doing now, and transitioning, which is not easy to transition from being this persona of a professional bodybuilder and Mr. Olympia, and showing them that you can do other things. And I don't mind I was the best at bodybuilding, but when I went into a yoga studio and I tried to stand on one foot, I'm falling over. You know, maybe I'm the worst guy in there, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I'm willing to learn and to be flexible and so on. So I think that's inspiring people as well. Hopefully people can see there's more to Dorian Yates than Mr. Olympia, the bodybuilder. Of course, this is a huge part, and this is my legacy of Mr. Olympia, but you can be flexible, you can do other things in life as well. Why is Dorian still healthy after the huge amount of steroids he allegedly took? Well, first of all, I didn't, so there's one reason. And I did have regular blood checks, like maybe 3 times a year while I was competing. Not that everything was perfect. Sometimes some of the readings were outside the normal range, but it's kind of to be expected. And then after bodybuilding, I stopped using the steroids and so on that we're using in the sport. I'm very conscious about health, and I do a lot of things to help my health. I have a whole regime of supplementation with vitamins and antioxidants, different herbs and so on. The things that I've learned over the years are kind of, and my diet is much different. It's much lower in protein now, and the training is different as well. I'm really conscious and concerned about my health and doing everything to keep it in a